everybody, so today I wanted to do a contouring and highlight video. Now if you like the makeup that I'm wearing right now, I will try to get a tutorial up pretty soon. I was originally doing a get ready with me video, but then it kind of didn't work out because I was trying a few different techniques, so I was really in my mirror and I wasn't in frame half the time. But I wanted to do a contour and highlight video because I haven't done one. I believe I did one like one of my first videos, but it was really crappy quality and it's been a long time, so the products and the technique that I've used has really changed. So I'm just gonna get started. I'm not gonna bore you guys. If you have any questions on my makeup, if it's a specific product, you can leave a comment below and I will try to answer it if I can remember everything I used. But other than that, I'll try to list off a few things in the description bar below, just so you guys can get an idea. So to start off, I apply my foundation first. Now normally I don't have my eyes done before I do this, just because the way I apply my foundation is I apply my foundation and concealer, and then I set my concealer right here and I set my T-zone, leaving my cheeks more, I guess, damp, you could say, with like the foundation, so that the powders that I use for my contour and blush really stick onto my face and really come out intense. You don't have to do that. You can powder your face in those areas, but I find that since I'm going to be applying powders with my bronzer and blush anyway, it just kind of defeats the purpose to add one powder and then add those on top. So it's just kind of like less layers on my face, if you get what I'm saying. So I'm going to start off, and I change up my bronzer, blush, and highlight every single day. I don't use the same products every day. I always like to switch it up. If you've seen my makeup collection video, which I believe was my last video, you'll see that I have so many options for my bronzer, blush, and highlight, so I really do like to switch it up on a daily basis depending on what my look is. So today I'm just going to use some like old favorites that I used to use. This is the e.l.f. bronzer in the shade Glow. It's just one of their $2 bronzers. The brush that I use for my bronzer is the e.l.f. powder brush. I absolutely love this because I feel like it buffs it out really well and really packs it on in the area that I want it to be. You can use a fluffier brush or even a smaller brush, like something small like this instead of something so large. It just depends on your personal preference. Now, when I contour my face, I contour underneath my cheekbones, underneath my jaw, and I do contour around my temples. I don't contour my nose because my nose is fairly small to begin with, and I don't contour like underneath my lip just because I never can get that one right and it always just looks dirty and muddy, so I don't do that, but I do the outer perimeters of my face. So the way that I do this is I just swirl my brush or tap my brush in, I tap a bit off, and the way that I start off, and I'm only going to do one side for the purpose of this video so you guys can really see the before and after. So the way I do this is I start right here on the back. Some people do a fishy face, some people do like they move their lip to the side so you can see it. Some people just feel for it. There's also the trick of the top of the ear to the corner of your lip. I kind of have a little tiny bit of a shadow, so I just follow what that is, and I just tap my contour into place. Now you can really see it's already starting to pick up. The reason that that's happening so quickly is because I do have a little bit of tackiness from my foundation. And I just like tap, tap, tap into place until I get it to the desired intensity. Now you can see it's not perfectly blended right now, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to go around and buff the edges out, and you want to make sure you stop around the edge of your eye. You don't want to go too far in. I've made that mistake a bunch of times and it just looks kind of unnatural and really muddy. And when you buff, you want to make sure that you're not really buffing it like in too much, down and out. You just want to kind of keep right where you placed it, but just rub back and forth, and that will help diffuse the color without getting it everywhere. If you are going to blend it up or anything, make sure you blend it up instead of down, just because you want to leave this area very light. And then I go in with a bit more product, and I start right here along the back of my jawline because that's where I want the most shadow. And I just run it along my jaw. This is the easiest one. I find it's the easiest one to do because you don't have to worry so much about it looking super natural, because all you literally have to do is just buff, buff, buff right under your jaw. Now, if you wanted to change the shape of your jaw a little bit more, you would go in a little bit more precisely, but me, I just want to slim down this area, so I'm literally just doing this. I don't really do it to slim down actually too much. I do it a little bit like right here, but more for definition and to add just the color to be even, instead of, you know, just having bronzer here and then nothing going on down there. It just helps it all blend together. So then I just take a bit more and I run it right here along my temple. Some people go down a lot further. I just keep it right here along the edge because, again, I'm a little bit skinnier right here where it kind of dips in a bit more. So this is the only area along my forehead that I actually apply the bronzer. Now, if you wanted, again, you can go in with your nose. I would suggest using like a smaller brush for that, but I don't do that. If you find that it doesn't look even throughout your whole face, you can just apply a very, very light layer of bronzer there just so that it all kind of blends together and looks even. The next thing that I do is I go in with a blush. So I'm going to use this one for my e.l.f. Contour and Blush palette. And I use a angled brush, or again, I use the e.l.f. flat top brush. So today I'm using the MAC 168. And I just apply this from my apples. I try to keep the most color right here because the most color of the bronzer is back along the back of your cheekbone. So I try to keep the most color from my blush right here. And I just pat, and then once I have it kind of placed with the brush, I just diffuse the color all out. And just apply it like that. And you want to make sure you blend it in really well with your bronzer. Now, I don't know how well it looks blended in the camera, but in person, you can't see a line of where the blush starts and where the bronzer starts. So that's what you want. The next thing I'm going to use is my highlight, and this is the shade Sugar. This is just a Wet n Wild eyeshadow, and I'm going to take this onto a small but dense brush. This is the e.l.f. blush brush, and I really like this as like a tapered highlight brush. And I just pick up that product, and I start right here because I want the most highlight at the highest point of my cheekbone. And I just make sure I just rub it right here and bring it up along the side of my temple. And then the last thing that I do is I take a little bit more and I just run it right here at the highest point of the bridge of my nose, because that allows you to have like a very natural highlight on your nose without it being overly shimmery and making you look oily. So that is pretty much it for my contour, highlight, and blush. You can really see the before and after. So you can see it just adds more life back into your face. It helps your face look a little bit more lively and not so one-toned after you apply your foundation. I absolutely love this. It's a little bit much for people for an everyday basis, but for me, I think it's amazing because it really does just help awaken your face. I would rather not do any eyes and do a contour, highlight, and blush. So it's all personal preference. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you have any other questions, you can leave a comment below, or I will have my email listed in the description bar. I will also have all of my social network usernames listed off in the bottom bar below, so you guys can go check me out on all of those. I hope you guys enjoyed again. Don't forget to comment and like this video if you thought it was helpful, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, everybody.